Hey everybody, welcome back to Hawks DIY. Well, as promised, this is episode 2 of the pickup upgrades for the G&L Legacy guitar. And I finally got the wiring that I've been waiting on. I ordered it on January 29th. Finally received it today, February 10th. That'd be 11 days later, I finally received it. So we're ready to get started. But let me share the story on this. Basically, I ordered it, like I said, on January 29th. And I waited probably a good full week. And I'm like, where's my wiring, you know? And so I started looking up the tracking. And so the package originated out of Idaho Falls. They first shipped it to Atlanta, Georgia. Then they shipped it to Pennsylvania. And then I guess they thought, what the heck, we'll send it around the world one more time. We'll go to North Carolina. Well, of course, I'm here in Nashville, Tennessee. And so finally, you know, after a while, I got with the seller on Evil Bay. And I asked them what, you know, if they could look into it. And finally, long story short, they decided to send me another package, priority mail. So now I got this package, and the other package isn't here yet, but the tracking's showing that I am going to receive another package, the original package. So after growing 2 beards and cutting them both off, I have wiring. So we're going to get started, and I got to wire this jack back in first, and I'm going to wire a ground wire to the volume pot and to the back of the tremolo, and that's going to be the plan. And then I'm going to hook this thing up, get strings on it, hook this thing up, and we're going to give her a listen. So let's go. All right, let's open this up and check out this wiring. See what we got here. So, all that waiting time for that little package. But I do want to say this real quick. The seller was very helpful on eBay, and I really appreciate it. They did everything they could. It wasn't their fault. It was the post office, just plain and simple. So that's the wiring, and I'm going to use the white and black for the wiring that I'm going to use today. So I won't use the yellow. But anyway, I'm going to get that wiring out and cut it to length and get going here, and hopefully get this knocked out pretty quick. Alright, ladies and gents, I've got the jack wired up, and I wanted to show you this real fast to show you that the white goes to the tip, and then the black is going to go to the sleeve. So the black's going to be your ground, your white's going to be your hot wire. And also, I wrap them around it so that these wires, if they do unintentionally get pulled, they're not going to be pulled from their connections. So I wanted to share that part with you real fast. And I got the wire run through the body, so now I just got to cut them to length and then wire them up here to this volume pot. So that's the next step. Alright, I just wanted to show you this real quick. I'm getting ready to put solder these wires up on the volume pot. And I just wanted to show you that this wiring that I purchased it's the cloth, vintage cloth style guitar wiring. And so what's great about it is you can pull this cloth back and the wire is exposed at that point, and it makes it easy to solder. So I just wanted to show you that real fast. This is, they call it the vintage cloth style, and this is the wiring I'm doing. So the white wire is your hot. It's going to go on the middle lug and on the bottom of the volume pot. And then, as I showed you in the previous video, the ground will go on the outside lug, and it will go in tandem with the ground, which is going to the chassis of the volume pot. So I'll show you that here in a minute after I get it soldered. All right, there you go. Got the white on the middle lug, the black on the lug there on the right. Let's see it right here. And this is the ground wire to the chassis. So that's how she's wired. So now I got to run a ground wire to the tremolo in the back of the guitar body. So that's the next step. We're moving right along. All right, folks, got the ground wire soldered in the back. And so we're ready to test these pickups before I put the strings on. So let's get ready to do that. And we're on the downhill swing on this deal. All right, now it's time to test these pickups. Boy, I'm so glad to get to this point in the process. So anyway, the best way to do this that I found anyway is turn your volume about half, about 5, be good. And you'll see why here in a second. But I've got the selector switch on the humbucker. So we got the volume pot is down, so it should be full humbucker. So if you tap on the humbucker, it's good to go. So we're good to go on that. Let's check the next position. It should be full humbucker. And the middle pickup, and it is. This should be just the middle pickup. Okay. This should be the middle pickup. And the front pickup, and it is. And this should be the front pickup. Okay, let's go all the way back. Now this should be cool tap when I pull this up. Okay. And it is. It's got the cool tap on the front. I'm going to have to look into that. I thought it was supposed to be on the back. But it's got it on the front. So we'll have to look into that. But let's just go ahead and move forward. So now it should be coil tapped on the humbucker. And it is. And then it should be the middle pickup as well. And then of course the middle pickup. And then this should be the middle and the front. And it is. This should be the front. Okay, so we look good. I'll have to look into, like I said, this the way it's tapped. I don't guess it makes any difference, but I always thought it was on the back. So I'll have to read up on that. But anyway, we're at the point where I feel good with putting strings on. And we'll hook this thing up and see how she sounds. So we'll talk to you then, I guess. I forgot to tell you why you want to put your volume on 5 when you test. That's because you can really differentiate between which coil is coil tapped. When it's wide open, you're still going to have some bleed through. So with it at about 5, you get a more truer test. So anyway, I just wanted to point that out. All right, folks. Well, I got the strings put on. I checked the neck relief, made sure it was still okay, because you remember from my previous videos that I leveled the frets on this G&L as well. So I wanted to check that. I checked the settings on the bridge and everything. Nothing changed. So I had already done a setup prior to the electronic upgrades. So we're good to go there. But I learned a lot on this project. I really did. I wanted to talk about a few things first and explain a few things. Basically, what I wanted to point out, earlier in the video I talked about, I thought that the coil splitting should be on the back slug. They call it the screw slug because it's got the screws on the post. But mine actually splits on the north slug. So they call it north and south slug. They're referring to the coils. Basically, the Seymour Duncan wiring is wired to the north slug. That's how Seymour Duncan wires it. And that's because it is believed that the north slug of a humbucker gives you a fuller sound. So that's why Seymour Duncan has it wired that way. And I also wanted to point out that I had a tendency throughout this project to refer it as coil tapping. But actually what I'm doing is coil splitting. And the difference is coil splitting just basically takes one of the coils to ground and canceling that coil out and leaving the other one active. So that's what coil splitting does. Coil tapping is where you actually take 50% of the power away from one coil. So that's the difference. I wanted to explain that so you understood that. And then also the volume pot. Now, I learned a lot about these volume pots, and I believe I'm going to be able to fix this volume pot height, as I've been talking about how I didn't like that. Well, basically you can put a hex nut on the back side of the pick guard, and that way the post, you can stick the post out exactly where you want it, and then put the other hex nut on the top. And basically that holds the volume pot height in place. And see, I didn't do that. I didn't know, or didn't think about it anyway. So I'm going to be able to fix that volume pot. I'm just not going to do it in this video. I'm just going to leave it as it is. But just know that you can get your volume pot knob to set flush with the pick guard by using 2 hex nuts on your post. So there's that. Also, I wanted to tell you that I've adjusted the pickup heights, and they should be 3/32 on the low side and a 1/16 of an inch on the highs. Now, keep this in mind though when you do that, is your humbucker, this specific humbucker that I installed, is a high output humbucker. So that means that you don't have to get it as close to the strings as other pickups because it's already high output. So keep that in mind. But I did all that, and I'm really happy where I have them set and positioned. So I just wanted to explain all of this so you kind of had a better idea of everything I'm doing. I by no means know everything there is on these guitars, so I learned a lot during all this process. So I guess now we're ready to go through and I'll show you. I'll hook it up to my Fender amp. I got my Fender amp back here behind me, and I'll hook it up and we'll go through the pickup selector and you'll be able to see what the coil splitting sounds like. Alright, now it's time for the fun part. So let's start out with the full humbucker, and I'll show you what that sounds like. So this is all full volume, full tone. We're just wide open. Alright, so now here's the coil split. Same riff. Alright, did you notice that there was more noise because it's single coil? You also notice it's a lot brighter. So that's the difference. So now let's move on. Let's go to the second position, which is going to be the full humbucker, and it's going to be the middle pickup together. So alright, now we're going to do the coil split. Now this is going to be the front coil of the humbucker and the middle single coil. Alright, so there's that option. Now, from the middle on forward, of course, it's going to be all the single coils. So, you know, that's just going to be straight up. Now, that position, the first position after the middle, is going to be your middle single coil and your front single coil. And you can also hear how much noisier it is, because we're on single coils. Now that's the front pickup. Okay, so let's go back to the humbucker. Now, one thing that I want to point out is don't be afraid to use your tone knobs. A lot of people, for whatever reason, they just don't use them much. And man, you can really dial in the tone perfectly with your tone knobs. So we're on full humbucker right now, so listen to this. I'm dialing it back. See how it sounds underneath there when you pull it all the way out? But when you find that sweet spot in the middle, it sounds great. So don't be afraid to use your tone controls. They really will help dial in what the tone you're looking for. So anyway, I think that's pretty much it. I hope you guys have liked this video. It took 2 videos to get it completed, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. And I'm going to fix this volume pot to where it'll sit flush with the pick guard, and then we'll be finished with this guitar. So if you like this content, please like, subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything. It helps out the channel. And I guess we'll see you next time on Hawks DIY.